Hey everyone, this is Nick O'Malley here with Melissa Hansen from MassLive.com. We're here to discuss the biggest story of the day, which is reports, or not reports, but an announcement out of Florida, Jupiter, Florida, that Patriots owner Robert Kraft is in the process of being issued a warrant for 2 charges of soliciting a prostitute in Jupiter, Florida. And with me is Melissa Hansen, who handles more hard news for us. She's much more into crimes and courts. I cover the Patriots typically. Obviously, this is a big Patriot story. It's also a big news story, so there's a lot of crossover between news and sports. A lot of stuff going on. Melissa, what's your first takeaway from this story so far?
So this is a part of a bigger investigation happening in Florida in regards to human trafficking that led to prostitution. So what this looks like is a big ongoing investigation and a crackdown into one particular massage parlor that was involved in this incident. And several people were arrested there today, about 25 people, and one of them so happened to be Robert Kraft. So he's facing 2 misdemeanor charges. I'm not overly familiar with statutes in Florida, but as far as my research tells me, those charges would give him a maximum of 60 days in jail. So those 2 misdemeanor charges of soliciting prostitution.
Yeah, and this is the big thing here, that this is a much larger story, much larger investigation into multiple massage parlors which were accused of having prostitution rings in the back throughout Florida. The reports are now that there are around 200 warrants issued, but we only have 25 names so far, so there are more names going to come out. There is a report trickling around that Robert Kraft is not the biggest name tied up in this, which is an alarming thing to say, because Robert Kraft is an incredibly large name, and the fact that...
It also directly counters, though, what the Jupiter police chief said during the news conference earlier today. He was asked if there were any other high-profile names in this arrest, or perhaps any local politicians, and the police chief, Daniel Kerr, did say that Robert Kraft was the biggest name arrested in relation to this incident.
Yeah, so... That's one big thing, is that there's a lot of information coming out. Not all of it's going to be true. I really should be relying more on what the police are saying directly. So we do know that the parlor impression was the Orchids of Asia Day Spa in Jupiter, Florida. The police identified Kraft because of cameras that were secretly embedded inside the parlor, and the police say that there is video evidence of Robert Kraft inside the parlor.
Should be noted, there's video evidence of everyone who is facing charges, not just Mr. Kraft, but they say that they do have video of Mr. Kraft inside the parlor.
Yeah, so, which makes it particularly surprising if they have video evidence that shortly after the news came out, the New England Patriots came out with a statement via a Patriots spokesperson that categorically denied the claims, which is surprising to see. Usually they give like a milquetoast response saying, we'll wait and see what happens with the charges. They come out and completely denied it.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm not sure, I don't cover the Patriots, so as an organization, I can't say if that's a surprising response from them. But of course, people are innocent until proven guilty, and Mr. Kraft has not been arraigned yet. So that will be forthcoming after the arrest warrant is issued, and like Nick said, that is expected on Monday. So the legal process will probably begin next week.
And in addition to the legal angle, there's what's going to happen in the NFL. The NFL does have a personal conduct policy, and that also extends to the owners. That happened somewhat recently with Indianapolis Colts owner Jim Irsay, who was caught driving under the influence and had a controlled substance in his car, and he was punished by the league, which is mostly limited to fines and suspensions. There has been some talk of lost draft picks, which is a common penalty in pro sports, or particularly the NFL. Adam Schefter, ESPN, said that he expects that any punishment handed down from the NFL to be in the form of suspension or fine, not lost draft picks. Patriots fans who have been through this sort of scandal breaking out in the past know that the NFL likes to take away Patriots draft picks. Don't expect that, but expect that Robert Kraft is going to get... This is a significant story. The NFL is going to, I assume, react with a significant punishment.
Yeah, I would expect that as well, so we'll see how things play out from here. So again, this happened in Jupiter, Florida, and the police chief did say this morning that Robert Kraft was driven to the massage parlor the 2 times that he did visit there, and the person who drove him is not facing any charges.
At one point, police said that they believed this was a common occurrence for Robert Kraft to visit, and he said yes, and that Robert Kraft, he owns a property in Palm Beach, Florida. And so is a regular visitor to the area. He's known to visit Mar-a-Lago, Donald Trump's resort, and a Palm Beach visit there. So he's known to frequent the area. And what else do we have? Yeah, the actual quote is, Jupiter Police Detective, I would say going through the evidence, yes, he believes this was a regular event for Kraft. And
one other thing police did say this morning is they didn't disclose exactly how much money was spent at the parlor by Kraft or other people who are facing charges, but in general they say for about a half-hour fee of services there, it was $59, and for a full hour of services the fee was about $79.
And some more info on Robert Kraft. He's 77 years old. He purchased the Patriots in 1994. They won 6 Super Bowls during that time. And this is one of multiple really black marks against this organization, the most significant being the Aaron Hernandez murder trial that, was it 2014 at this point, or 2013? It seems like ancient history.
The charges came down in 2013. Yeah. I don't think the trial was until maybe 2 years after that.
Yeah, and Robert Kraft, he was married to Myra Kraft in the 60s, and Myra Kraft passed away in 2011. He has been dating an actress by the name of Ricky Noel Lander since 2012. She's now 39, and I believe it was about a year ago, Ricky Noel Lander gave birth to a child that is said to not be Robert Kraft's.
Yes.
And I'm keeping an eye on Twitter right now because there's more stuff constantly coming out on this, so while I look at the camera, something else could be breaking on this story.
Yeah, so that's essentially what we know so far. So again, Robert Kraft, one of several people facing charges in connection with prostitution and human trafficking out of a massage parlor in Jupiter, Florida. Robert Kraft is facing 2 charges of soliciting another to commit prostitution, which is a misdemeanor.
Yep, and so what happens next is a report just came out that Robert Kraft is expected to be issued a warrant on Monday. During the press conference today, police said that they are in the process of filing a warrant for Kraft's arrest. He is currently in Massachusetts, and they are going to issue the warrant in Massachusetts.
Well, the warrant will be issued out of Florida. Yeah. But he is in Massachusetts, so authorities
she knows the actual phrasing of these things better. Yes, listen
and
to her.
Whomever Kraft retains as any kind of legal representation will be served with that information as well at this point. I'm not aware whether he has a specific attorney representing him on these charges.
And the NFL has took a while to issue a statement, but they did ultimately issue a statement reading that the NFL is aware of ongoing law enforcement matter and will continue to monitor developments, which is about as vague a statement as the league could possibly issue on this matter. So it appears that they're going to take the wait-and-see approach. Although this is another incident involving an NFL, usually it's the players that get caught up in sort of incidents where they have to acknowledge a investigation, but now it's one of their owners. And the most recent instance was Jim Irsay, which was a big story, but wasn't groundbreaking for the league. I feel like this is going to be one of the largest stories of the offseason, especially in New England.
Mm-hmm. Yes, especially considering that it's New England.
All right, so we're going to have coverage on this story going throughout the weekend, bare minimum, and I assume throughout the entire offseason and into the regular season, especially if depending on what sort of punishment that Kraft takes, and I assume he'll be posting bail and able to go around, but
he might not even be held on bail. It's possible that he'll be released on personal recognizance. Again, I'm not really familiar with the legal system in Florida, so I can't say exactly what the outcome will be.
With that said, the point I was trying to make was that we don't know what Robert Kraft's next public appearance will be. I assume it will have to happen at some point, and it's unclear how this fan base is going. This fan base has had a wonderful run of success with this organization, but this is going to be a trying offseason for the Patriots after they just won a Super Bowl, and all of a sudden the Patriots are in trouble again.
Yes.
All right, folks, thanks for tuning in. This is Nick O'Malley and Melissa Hansen. We'll have more throughout the weekend and moving on, and make sure to check out MassLive.com, specifically MassLive.com/Patriots for more. And thanks for tuning in. We'll update you more as more details come out.